A brand new SpaceX Starlink feature protects you and your family. Let's go check it out. Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much once again joining me for tea time. Today we have a little bit of fireside. That smokiness, that goodness, guys. I hope you're joining me with your cup of tea, maybe a cup of coffee, hanging out, talking tech, talking photo, talking video. Today is a tech day. SpaceX Starlink released a feature that will allow you to protect your family through DNS. And I want to get into that a little bit with you, but I'm also not only going to show you exactly how to configure this, but also if you do not have SpaceX Starlink, that's okay, because I'm going to show you how to do this on any router before the end of this video. So before we get into it, I want to say that if you haven't downloaded any of my ebooks as of yet, why the hell not? Go pick them up. Go over to JCristina.com/books. Once again, JCristina.com/books. They're 100% free. Also, if you enjoy this content, even in the least, consider throwing it a thumbs up. That'll be very helpful. Don't forget to subscribe. If you're already subscribed, click this little button over here so when I go live or when a new video comes out, you will be notified of it immediately. Also, if you just want more Starlink content, I put together a Starlink playlist. Check it out over there. There's about 170 plus videos of helpful how-tos, tips, tricks, what to buy, what not to buy, why, all of this type of stuff. There's a lot of great information over there. So when you're done watching this video, go check those out. And if you just want to say thank you for all of my hard work, there's a little thank you button down here. You can click on that if you'd like. If not, that's okay too. Consider becoming a member of the channel. That would be even better. I would absolutely love having you. So before we dive into this, I want to give you a little bit of a backstory, some context here. Now, Elon Musk used to use for SpaceX Starlink Google DNS. So that would be 8.8.8.8. Google's DNS is what they used for all of their routers. So if they shipped them out, when you received them, you didn't know it, but internally, that's what they were using for all of the name server resolution. Now, they changed that just about a year ago or so, maybe a little bit less, and they moved over to Cloudflare. So this was, I think, a very brilliant move. And the reason being is Cloudflare not only being fast, sometimes even faster than Google's DNS, Cloudflare came up with what they call Cloudflare families. And this happened in April of 2020, right around the height of the COVID thing. And everyone was at home and there was a lot of people that were complaining about a lot of malware and adult content and just stuff that was inappropriate for their families to view. So providing families with the DNS filtering as well as parent controls and being able to not only manage the content that your kids are seeing, but also holding true to the speed of the DNS lookup that Cloudflare is notorious of having. And like I said before, Cloudflare is equally as fast as Google name servers, and sometimes they're even quicker. I personally use Cloudflare for the last 2-3 years because it just works out better than Google for me in my location. I did a whole video, maybe I'll put a link over here on how you can find out which one is the best for you, as well as doing some of this setup also. Now, like I said, SpaceX Starlink moved over to Cloudflare, but there was nothing that you could do to even change what servers you're using for your DNS. Well, just recently, they gave us the ability to make those changes in the application itself. This is fantastic because now we can dial in the DNS servers that we want to use manually, or we can allow Starlink to do it for us. And there is 3 different options that I'm going to get into. But before I do, I want to give you kind of the baseline of this, and then I'll get deeper into it later. So to start out with, you have your 1.1.1.1 that I was telling you about, which is the equivalent to 8.8.8.8 on the Google side. This is Cloudflare. So that is your primary 1.1.1.1. Your secondary would be 1.0.0.1. So that is for an unfiltered DNS setup, right? If you don't need any filtering, you just want fast speeds, there you go. Now, what Cloudflare families introduced was 2 additional DNS servers. 1.1.1.2 is a new one, and that one is for malware filtering or malware protection. So if you were to use 1.1.1.2 and 1.0.0.2 as a secondary, you're going to get malware protection and you're going to get those faster speeds that Cloudflare provides. The last one of that trinity is the 1.1.1.3. Now, the 1.1.1.3 is a combination of all of them. So you have the faster speeds of 1.1.1.1, you have the malware protection or filtering of 1.1.1.2, and then you have content filtering, which is your adult content, for example, filtering. This is what's added into 1.1.1.3. So you're getting all 3 protections and speeds and everything all in one. And if you want to use the secondary, that would be 1.0.0.3. Now, I'll get into this a little bit deeper in just a moment, but for now, this Cloudflare 1.1.1.1 and all of the rest add onto it Warp. And Warp is basically a technology that is developed by Cloudflare that improves security and speed and privacy, all of this on your internet connection. Now, it doesn't matter if your connection is in your home or in your office or even on your phone, which is really cool. So basically with Warp, you get faster speeds, privacy encryption, as well as secure browsing and reduced latency. Those are the 4 major pillars of using this Warp. Now, there is a Warp Plus. I'm not going to get into that in this video, but it is a paid subscription. And what it does is it gives you all of this, but just enhances it a little bit more. You get priority access, you get faster speeds, faster everything. But of course, like I said, you have to pay for it. What we're doing today is 100% free, so you don't need to look into Warp Plus if it's not something that you need. So let's get into doing the configuration. I'm going to show you how to do it. And then after showing you how to do it on SpaceX Starlink's router, I'm going to show you how to do it on any router. Very, very simple. All right, so let's dive right in. All right, so the first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna open up your app. It says disconnected, and what it will do is it will connect. And once it's connected, now you can make your changes. Now, of course, you have statistics, network, obstruction, speed. Let me go into speed test. I haven't done this in a while. Let's just do this really quick just to see what the speeds are. Obviously, that's not for this video, but you know, sometimes I get off topic and maybe you guys want to know what my speeds look like as of right now. So it looks like we're getting 35 milliseconds latency, which isn't too bad. We have 146 megabits per second down and 23 megabits up. That's really not too bad, guys, not too bad. All right, let's head back over to what we were doing, get back on track, right? So go over into settings. Once you're in settings, it's gonna ask you to log in. I'm already logged in, so we don't have to do it. But if you're not logged in, you're gonna need to enter in your email address as well as your password. Now from here, you click on content filtering and we have 3 options. We have no filtering, malware filtering, and malware and adult content. Let's just real quickly click on learn about content filtering so we can see exactly what 1.1.1.1 or Cloudflare is saying about it. So as you can see, it says 1.1.1.1 for families, free protection for your home internet, protecting home internet connections from malware. With more home internet usage on the rise, it's never been more important to protect your family from dangerous and malicious sites. 1.1.1.1 for families is built on top of the same site categorization and filtering technology that powers Cloudflare's enterprise products. It uses Cloudflare's internet intelligence to filter content on your home internet network. Built on a massive network, 1.1.1.1 with families uses the fastest public DNS resolver on Earth to make your internet connections faster. Now, this is what I was talking to you about, that trinity, the 3 different options, 1.1.1.1, 1.2, 1.3. That's what this is. You just can't see it. It's going to happen behind the scenes, so it's very easy for you to select. So if you want just malware protection and faster speeds, you would just click on malware. No problem, you hit save and you're done. If you want the malware protection, faster speeds, and you want the adult content protection, you can go and click on malware and adult content. And this would basically protect your family from viewing any type of adult content. Now, when you have all three of these on, like I said, you have the faster speeds, you have the malware protection, which is like an anti-phishing type of thing going on in the background, as well as any other type of malware that is pushed down different websites it is protecting from. And then finally, when you have all three of them together, like I said, you have that adult content filtering also. So just simply click on any of these and click save. Now for me, I'm going to hit no filtering because I don't need filtering on this account. Now for me, I'm going to click on no filtering and then hit save because I don't need filtering, but you make the selection whatever works out best for you. Now, come down here to where it says custom DNS. This is an improvement. All right, this is important, and I'm going to give you a little bit of a tip here. So instead of just having three options where you have no filtering or malware filtering or adult content filtering and malware, the three different options here, you can actually do custom DNS. This is new to SpaceX Starlink's app within the last couple of months. So if we click on enable, at this point, it gives you two options. You can type in a primary IP address for your DNS and a secondary. Now, remember what I was telling you before, where you can enter in 1.1.1.1 as a primary and then a secondary of 1.0.0.1. That would be your secondary using Cloudflare. What I do is instead of doing that, I put in here for primary, I put in 1.1.1.1. That would be my primary. And a secondary I put in as 8.8.8.8. Now, why am I doing this, right? That doesn't make any sense. You're using Cloudflare, you're using Google. Why? The reason I do this is because I want to make sure that I am up no matter if Google went down or Cloudflare went down, I would still be up. I would still be able to search the web. That's very important for me. I am very into redundancy. Redundant backup, redundant power, redundant internet, redundant DNS, redundant. So by using 1.1.1.1 as your primary and 8.8.8.8 as a secondary, what this means if Cloudflare goes down, then Google will pick up the slack. Then when Cloudflare comes back up, it'll switch back over to Cloudflare. Now, bear in mind this. We can change this from 1.1.1.1 as a primary. We can change it to 1.1.1.2, which is, remember, just malware, or we can change it to 1.1.1.3, which is what? Primary, malware, and the adult content filtering. But this is the big but. If you did that, what would end up happening is that if Cloudflare went down for that split second, when you make a request to a website, it's going to use Google. And Google doesn't have malware or that adult content protection. So you're not going to have that protection for those split seconds or maybe minute or that short period of an outage where Cloudflare is down. So keep that in mind. There could be some sites that slip through if there is an outage. So using the custom filtering gives us the best of both worlds. It allows us to then select what DNS servers we use. Do we want to use Google? Do we want to use Cloudflare? Do we want to use malware protection? Do we want to use adult content protection? What do we want to do? And we can kind of segregate the two and also use Google as a redundant backup as a secondary if we so desire. To me, I like using both because I like the redundancy. So this gives us the best of both worlds. Now that's the setting up of the Starlink, which is obviously very, very easy, especially if you just want to use their three options instead of using their custom DNS. Well, how about if you have a third-party router that you're using? How do you do it? Well, you're going to do the exact same thing that we just did, but instead of looking for those three options, you're going to go into your settings, then you're going to go into your DNS settings, and under DNS, you're going to see a primary and a secondary DNS for that router. You're going to put in there those numbers like I showed you before. 1.1.1.1 is Cloudflare, 8.8.8.8 is Google. If you want to use a combination of the two like I do, do so. To me, that is the best method because once again, you get the best of both worlds and you're going to have protection as well as redundancy. That's the way I work. That's the way I like it. So it is very simple to do on a third-party router. Once again, that's all you have to do is go into settings, go into your DNS settings and enter in this information. Now, as far as secondaries, if you want to not use both Google and Cloudflare, and let's say you just want to use Cloudflare, remember, if you're using 1.1.1.1, your secondary will be 1.0.0.1. If you're using Cloudflare's malware protection, you're going to use 1.1.1.2 with a secondary of 1.0.0.2. And finally, if you want to get the holy trinity, where you get the faster speeds of 1.1.1.1 and the malware protection of 1.1.1.2, you're going to use 1.1.1.3, and that adds the adult protection and a secondary of 1.0.0.3. That is it. Hopefully, this has been very simple. I tried breaking it down as best as I can and make it as clear as possible. So if you found value in this video, throw it a thumbs up. That'll be very helpful. Tell your friends, family, colleagues about this channel. Also, if you want to see more Starlink content, like I said before, go check out the Starlink playlist. And finally, head over to my website, JCristina.com, where you can find all the photography tools that I've invented for you and me over the years. And hopefully there's something there that you might like. And if there is, please pick it up and support me and my family. That's it, guys. I'm out of here for the end of the vlog. Many blessings to you and your family. Stay safe, stay healthy, and we'll see you in the next one. Love you all.